All right, ladies and gents, let's get going. Down a couple people tonight, but
Hold
we
on, my
will
thing's being
forge
retarded.
on.
I'll remind you. Delete this reminder.
Alright, 99.
I deleted it.
Holy shit. Oh, why can't you just roll a 100 or a 1?
I mean, I could keep going until I do, but we might be here a while.
It's just that, you know. Okay. This is going to be something interesting. Because it, might be a different answer for everyone. And you guys might need a moment or two to think about it. So, what do you view as pitiful? It's an odd one.
I got mine.
Okay, Valra?
Ignorance.
Ignorance.
Valor finds that very pitiful because we're in a world where knowledge is everywhere. There's no reason to be ignorant. And it's just she hates seeing that and pities people that are ignorant.
Delphine.
Evil, like the demonic kind of evil, like the demon that exists out there, because there's so much life everywhere to cherish, and that they just snuff it out. It's sad.
That's a good one.
I mean, at least devils do it via structured, binding contractual agreements, right?
So your argument is at least they're organized?
Yeah.
No. My argument, it's not at least they're organized, it's that everything is consensual with devils. 100% of it.
It's all in the contract.
No, it is. Like it, the archdevil that controls all of the devils in the 9 hells is held and bound that everything that serves under him has to follow contract, or they are destroyed and they cease to exist. Life is very valuable to a devil. So they truly, everything is consensual with a devil. 100% of it.
Everything's also consensual in the Church of Satan.
There you go. There you go.
Tenets.
It's just, and they get the, loopholes in contracts and shit are things the devils definitely exploit, but in agreeing to that contract, unfortunately, you still do consent to it, right?
So demons have a good legal department.
Devils do, not demons. They're very different things.
Point is, we got a good legal team there.
Yeah, for the devils. Definitely vast and massive bureaucracies spread through the 9 hells. That is a definite surety. Mordenkainen speaks a lot to the structure of demons and devils and how they operate in this universe, and it's quite interesting. So, Miss Song, you're up.
I would say that Miss Song finds that people who don't have even any sort of small appreciation in some way for music at all. But like, it's very rare you find someone who just like doesn't like any single iota of music.
Yeah.
But I mean, he does kind of look down on you if you don't really like it a whole lot. It's just like how like it just kind of doesn't make any sense to him, like how someone could disconnect themselves from that. So
Okay.
he finds it kind of pitiful that some people choose to kind of, I guess, live in silence in a way and kind of forego the joys of music and such.
All right. I like it. I like it. Fitting for each of you. Quite fitting. So, that brings us to now. Let's get going. Let's get started. Which one of you three is going to give us the rundown of last time? It wasn't, unfortunately, it wasn't too terribly in depth. But yeah, have at it, guys.
We fought more giants. Ander did die, but Valor brought him back. We're pretty beat up right now, but we won the battle. Yay!
I got a nice new scar across my midsection from an axe, a giant axe. That's pretty cool.
Nice.
Very luckily, this airship managed to kill a significant amount of giants. Even on your guys' bonus roll, did quite well for you guys and did max damage before it listed off. So it's pretty good too. You did bring Ander back from the brink of death. That was pretty crazy and nuts.
Pretty sure I kept Valra just like alive by the skin of my teeth with that healing circle. That little...
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not doing so hot right now. I almost died a lot of times.
So, that brings us to right now. We're directly after this battle. The docks themselves are almost completely destroyed. There's several sunken ships in the bay, including these two long ships farther out, and then the one that docked, and got the last firebomb dropped on it. That one and the end of the docks are burning. The kind of warehouse area that was nearest the docks. Here, I can pull a map up. Not that it's terribly necessary at the moment. Ignore the giants you may see on the map. Anyway, so destruction all about you, right? There's people crying, significant casualties as these guys hit this town. Probably more devastation than these guys see in several years of pirates' raids, right? Because it's not too uncommon. There is some fortification and a good militia here, but this is fairly well almost broken fire shear, if not for you guys. So, once everybody realizes things are done, there are people kind of beginning to try and help the wounded, but others are recognizing you guys for what you've done. So there's like a small crowd that is gathered around Ander, and they pick him up, and a lieutenant immediately orders him rushed to the nearest field hospital that they have set up a little farther up the way. And the crowd is kind of cheering for you guys. So what are you guys doing at the moment directly? It's been probably 5-6 minutes after the battle, I'd say it took to res Ander.
Well, I'm not doing so hot, so I'm probably just sitting there waiting for somebody to come help me get up.
I will.
Maybe,
I'll help you, Valra. Let's go find the nearest. Do they have a temple or something?
Yes, they do. This town. Let me check my notes, because I do have notes on the main religions in Fireshare. So the main temple here is a temple to Dumathoin. So you guys approach it. The image like above the sanctuary is like carved in relief on the doors, and it's this mountain, and there's a pretty large emerald on the door, and as you guys are approaching this, the doors open, and you realize that this emerald is perfectly cut, so that as the door opens, it splits in half. There are a couple clerics, but it's kind of a little bit of a rougher temple, kind of rough hewn into the side of Fireshare. The benches are all just hewn from the floor, right? And kind of there's natural obstacles throughout the sanctuary, stalagmites that hang down from the ceiling. The what do you call that deal where the priest stands behind it? Lectern. The lectern is like this beautifully carved stalagmite that also has a large green emerald in it as well. But the priests seem pretty welcoming to you guys. Did all of you go there? Just Valra and Daphne? I guess Miss Song, did you take along?
Yeah, I'd say I'd take along.
Okay.
Where in town is that at?
Like as you guys move up, Fireshare is basically this road, kind of steep road that goes from, a good 750,000 feet above sea level down to sea level. You guys have mostly kind of spent your time fighting at sea level near the docks, but this temple is probably a quarter mile up. It's a long town. The way I think about it is, and I'm sorry for Miss Song here, but Valra, Daphne, I don't know if either you guys have ever visited Anaconda, but it's like that. It's just on the side of this hill. So like if you dropped a ball at the top of Fireshare, it would end up in the water in like 2 minutes. And this is, about a quarter of the way up.
Okay.
The priests are, like I said, very welcoming. When you guys stumble in, because it looks like, Miss Song's doing pretty good. Daphne's fairly beat up, so you guys kind of stumble in, and one of them steps forward. They're all dwarves, and they're wearing, rather than robes, they're wearing mining overalls. And when they see you guys, they make a kind of a hand movement, and they say, by Dumathoin's name, it's the Guardian Wing, come! And they motion you guys off to the side of the sanctuary to like a hospital. There's several people already in here, but you can tell this is like a lot better than like a field hospital, right?
Hello, dwarf. We could use some care. We're pretty beat up with the battle down by the.
Yes. We were watching, but we must say we are happy that you and yours managed to make it. It didn't look so good. Come, we will help you as best we can. Our resources right now are spread quite thin, as you would well know.
I will be fine for a bit longer. If you could please take a look at my friend right now, though.
Yes, yes, of course, come. And they lead you guys, like, through this hospital to a smaller, kind of off to the side room that you can tell was probably, a monk's room. It's very sparse and quite small. They got one bed, one cot set up in there, but they say, we'll get you some more beds here. Just have her rest, and they motion Valra to the bed. It's definitely not a comfortable one, you know. It's like I said, it's pretty sparse here. And then they leave to go get some more beds.
I will hop in and start resting.
Miss Song's gonna set up, and I assume there's like other people in here too, or something.
Like this room, it's just you guys, right? The field hospital area is fairly full right now of different people. These guys seemed to be more like, this one is the more severe cases, and so they've been brought to the clerics because like they do need triage, or they're gonna die.
Okay. Well, I guess I'll kind of go sit in kind of whatever the middle of this area is among all the, us and whatever other wounded people are in here or whatever the heck, and just play the Song of Rest here for everyone.
So Miss Song steps into the center of this room and looks around, and you find a chair to sit on, and you begin plucking away, and it takes a moment or two, and you to get the hurdy-gurdy tuned, and you begin playing this Song of Rest. And in this same time, the priests have come back with more beds for this private room for Daphne as well. And you guys hear this song begin playing, and it echoes throughout this temple quite well. And you guys all regain 1d6 extra hit points at the end of a long rest. Roll a percentile die for me, Miss Song.
Sure.
95 or below. Thank you. Let me roll the... So, I imagine, Valra and Daphne, you guys are really, pretty beat up. Miss Song, after playing this Song of Rest, you're probably fairly tired, and do you take the priests up as well on the chance to have a sleep in one of these cots they give you guys?
I'd eventually go and sleep, yeah.
Okay. So you guys rest, and we'll mark this as a full long rest, being that you're in a temple, and whatnot.
Nice.
And you all wake up feeling quite reinvigorated. Why don't we do this? Because it's a long rest. So roll the d6 for me, Miss Song.
D6, sure.
So you guys can all add one temporary hit point as well from this Song of Rest that got you guys. You guys were drifting off as he was kind of playing this, and you guys had pretty good dreams, better than the nightmares that you've been having, right?
Nice. I like it. It's a beautiful day.
It really is.
Go
Go ahead, sorry.
outside and find like a shady spot by some trees and study my spells a little bit because I've been needing to get rid of some stuff or concentrate on more useful spells for where we're at now.
Valora will join her.
Okay.
Yeah, also we hanging
So what is our plan from here? Where do you think those giants came from? Are giants known for sea travel? I wouldn't want to be on a boat with a giant
No, definitely not.
big boat. I know we had some people to see in River Deep.
Yeah, it was water deep.
What? Yeah, that one. That one.
So you do have connections or, you know, some information and stuff pointing you to Waterdeep. There's also, you've been offered to take some griffin eggs to Luskan. And then there was a couple other leads you guys have been given as well. A little farther east.
There was a note section. Valora had put some good notes in, and I can't find it.
Which ones are you looking for?
Oh, I found it. Okay, all our quest notes. Are we in Fire Shale or Fire Sheer?
Fire Sheer.
Sheer.
So there's a couple maps that cover this area, so I'll share these with you guys. That's your Sword Coast map, right? This map here, the second one, aligns with the east at the top of the Sword Coast map. You guys have been given, you know, from the council in Bryn Shander, fairly detailed map of what they know of, you know, from the Lord's Alliance.
So, about these griffin eggs, are these for like training baby griffins? Not for food, right? Who can I find that out from?
No, she had told you somebody had purchased them for training.
Okay, okay, good. Well, we could go to Luskan.
Yeah, I mean, I know it wasn't there. There was like some kind of time limit on those eggs or something, right? Was it, I think, several weeks or something like that? I want to say.
Yeah. Like, she needed you to do it soon because she just had a fresh batch.
Where was she at?
She's at the top of Fire Sheer, pretty much the first thing as you come in to town from the Ten Towns Trail.
Okay, so we still have time to do that.
Oh yeah. Well, how else do you guys pass the day in the town of Fireshare? Anybody need any arrows or anything?
Yeah, I need to get some because I gave Andrew all mine.
I could use some dart.
Yeah, I need to see if I can find any kind of like, ranged weapon to have, just in case.
So when you guys go to the blacksmith, there's really only one smith in town, right? And he's been making weapons, more weapons and stuff for the militia. And you guys are looking, and he says he tells you guys he refuses to accept payment for like a reasonable amount. So you guys, you know, if you need darts and arrows, you can pick those up. Is for like range stuff. He has bows, crossbows that you could pick up, and he offers to Miss Sung. He offers. I think he points out that you're missing something, and like shows you some pretty good made stuff.
Okay. Are these? Hold on, let me check my sheet here real quick. Ooh, those maps. Let's see. I forget where in here are proficiencies listed? I can't remember what tab those are on in
On your
here.
skills tab, it'll have a
Lovely.
star next to things you have proficiency in.
No, I mean like particular types of equipment and stuff like that.
Oh, that's on the abilities tab under proficiencies.
Okay. Oh wait, the ones I can use are kind of pathetic. Is there like a way to like learn other proficiencies and things like that? 'Cause like the only thing I can do for like those is hand crossbows, which are piddly. Like are there places I could go to like learn other proficiencies? Or how does that work?
Yeah, you could spend time and money to train and learn new proficiencies. You'd have to like find somebody willing to you know, if you want to learn crossbows, you'd want to find somebody who could use them and learn how to use them. Or if you know, you got a teammate who's proficient in crossbows, they could teach you, but it would take longer than if you paid for it.
Okay. Are either of you proficient in crossbows?
Let me look.
Do we have? We do have.
So I'm proficient longsword, short sword, short bow, longbow.
Okay.
Sorry, Miss Song.
Yeah, looks like I might have to find someone somewhere. Alright, well I guess I'll have to put that on hold then, because I'm not sure where I would look for that.
Okay. Well, how else do you guys pass the time? If you guys want to get arrows and stuff, if you click on items, you can add them to your inventory. You can get probably good 40 arrows and like an equivalent amount of darts at no charge. Miss Song, if you need anything, like you could pick up, you know, there's no magic items, of course, but you can pick up simple items at no charge.
Okay. I don't think there's anything particular that I need right now.
So, what do these guys get up to? That's the question,
Yeah, I think
really.
I'm pretty good on equipment at the moment.
Pretty good on equipment, they say. Well, let's see. Let's see. Well, Daphne, do you go for a dip in the harbor with water breathing?
No, I was trying to figure out how to move my spell throw.
Well, what do you do? Do you hang out at the blacksmith all day? Help him out? He offers to put you to work after you guys get your items and hang out there for a while.
So, how devastated is the town as a whole? Were those the only?
As a whole, the town is pretty intact. But the harbor, I mean, this is a fishing town and a mining town. The harbor and the docks are just completely, almost totally destroyed. Most of the small fleet of, you know, various ships that were docked at the time are gone, and a couple like buildings are completely demolished along the shoreline.
Okay.
And we just came here to do the Griffin training.
Right.
Okay.
Maybe we should help them, you know, at least a little bit. They've been kind enough to us, healing us, giving us equipment free of charge. I think it's the least we can do is maybe help them clean up a bit.
Yeah, for sure.
I will. We're still in the black. Excuse me, sir. Can you tell me where you grow your food and point me in that direction?
He explains that they have some crops up above the town, but the majority of their food comes from fishing or is brought in from elsewhere.
Okay, I will go up to the crops and spend the day there to try and enrich them.
And Valra will turn to Miss Song and say, "Do you want to go down to the harbor, see what we can do to help?"
Yeah, I'll head down to the harbor with them.
So there's quite a few dead, but most of them are cleaned up. You know, after this fight, really just a lot of like cleanup needs to be done before rebuilding. Fires are for the most part put out and whatnot. How long do you guys spend like in Fire Shear? Like, how long do you guys want to spend helping the town?
Couple days, maybe. I don't.
Yeah, I'd say a couple days.
Have we asked anybody what they know about the giants around here? Is this their first run in?
Yeah, that's a good point. Like, have they had any issues like this before?
Maybe we, after a hard day's work, go hang out at the local watering hole.
So there's a few taverns. You guys pick one called Pig's Ass, and you go in there. Yep, it's got
That is my
Really?
favorite
the
one so
sign
far.
is, you guys pick it because the sign is very well done. It's a stylized bar, and it's painted with, you know, it looks like it's fairly fresh colors, and it's a bunch of pigs wearing very nice tunics at a bar, and they're not wearing any pants, and so you see all their little corkscrew tails. And you go in, and it's a pretty lively place. Everybody seems to be in a fairly good mood, you know, despite recent attacks. And you know, pretty much as soon as you walk in, this big, you know, fairly stout dwarf with a long black beard looks at you guys and says, "Aye, what can I get you?"
I'll ask if he has any like mead.
Well, of course we got meat here, and you know, there's a bunch of steins, you know, pretty much lined up on the counter, and he kind of slides one down the bar your way.
Kind of raise it and tell him thanks.
Make that too, barkeep.
He nods and slides two more down.
Valro winks and walks away.
So, like I said, this bar is pretty lively. There's people, you know, a couple people playing cards, some playing, you know, a dark game, and more just kind of sitting and talking. Some are eating and whatnot. Mostly dwarves, a couple humans, no elves.
I'm gonna go sit at the table of the people playing cards.
I'm gonna head over and start doing some hurdy-gurdy entertainment.
Valro will go with Daphne.
So they welcome you to the table, and whatnot. Everybody seems to be like super friendly with you guys, and even though like you don't recognize them, they seem to know, you know, who you guys are. You guys are quite recognizable, and they begin showing you this card game they're playing, and whatnot. It seems to be some sort of gambling game. I really wish I had this built into the deal, or if you could buy it. I may have to look at see if you could buy it. But they're playing a card gambling game, and after kind of showing you the ropes a little bit, Daphne, one of the humans asks if you want in.
Yes, I will try these cards.
What kind of money does Daphne have? He nods and says, "All right, that'll be 50 silver to buy in."
I will count it out very carefully because money's not like super familiar to me, and it probably takes me an awkwardly long amount of time. And then I hand it to him. And I'm probably like handing them to him one at a time.
So like, he seems to be fairly like patient with you. He's kind of half tuned anyway, and he takes the coins and sets them on the table, and everybody else sets their coins, and he deals out these cards. Go ahead and roll me a... What is there for cards? Give me a playing cards check, please. Thank you.
Would that be sleight of? Would you just go sleight of hand just because of cards?
I don't know. She wouldn't be
Yeah.
sneaky.
I'd say it kind of
Try
like
to be
still.
insightful.
Yeah, I'd say insight is probably an arguable
Makes sense
one.
to me.
Yeah. I think I can get this game built into this if you guys are interested, but there is, the game is called Three Dag and Annie, and it's a legit card game for 5e.
Did we lose someone? Nope, never mind.
Nope.
Nope, we didn't lose anybody. Okay, cool.
They came back.
Nice. Crit. So you're playing, and did I say how many people were at the table?
No, you're just a group. I think.
So you're playing, and you managed to do quite well. And you take this round, and everybody's pretty jovial. And after a couple seconds, you realize, what this guy is trying to explain to you is that you won the whole take. So you got 50 silver from each of those. So 250 silver back, and that includes the 50 you put in.
Well
Thank
done.
you. Should I count it? Or is that... No. I won't.
No. Just put it in your purse. I counted it all for you. Don't worry about it. You're good to go. Man, that was some fighting I heard you guys did down on the docks, huh?
There were many giants.
God,
Many.
that's more giants than I've ever seen in my life.
Do they come here often?
Not terribly often. They come raiding sometimes in the spring, but usually it's, maybe 3, 4 at a time, and they might get a couple of us, but we managed to fight them off pretty good. Not like this, not in these numbers. That's the 6th raid this year so far, and it's winter time. But I think the council has a plan to keep us all safe. So I trust them.
The council? Who is
The ones in charge.
Oh,
You see, the Fireshare is more of a corporate enterprise. So it was really founded by a couple different companies, and the guy who runs a company in town, each of these 3 founding companies, the boss, they all meet together and they make decisions about Fireshare.
what is their plan to help with it?
Well, I'm not quite sure, but I have faith they'll do all right.
Yes, well, they... Fine job. Okay, then.
Hell yeah! And he, knocks mugs with you and takes another deep swig, and, he's fairly tuned, so there's, stuff running down his chin.
I'm, startled when he knocks mugs with me. And, try to wipe it off the table. The person. Oh, where do they come from? It's 6 times this year. Do you know what?
Well, those giants, they're frost giants, so they live up north of the Dale. I think these ones come from a clan that they live somewhere in the sea of moving ice. Miss Song, as you're playing, the patrons are tossing coins and whatnot onto the stage, and you get, after a little bit, you get 90 silver pieces.
Nice.
What are you doing, Valra? You're playing cards with Daphne, or just watching? What are you up to?
Just watching and nursing my 2 ales. Soaking it all in.
Gotta love those 2 ales.
Valra had a rough battle. I think she's earned it.
It was a tough time, right?
It's a lot of work bringing back somebody from the dead.
Yeah. Sheesh.
All right. Oof.
Valra's also not the most comfortable person in a tavern.
Why is that? Is it unfamiliar to her, or just she doesn't like them, or out of her element? What's going on there?
It's not that she doesn't like them, it's just she doesn't like being around a lot of drunken people, and she just thinks it's kind of uncivilized. And people are just being drunk and stupid, and it's not her preferred place to be, but she doesn't like being away from her friends either.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Do you play another round, Daphne? Like, they start to deal cards for another round.
But I will go to the bar and buy them a route.
Okay. They graciously accept it. The round costs you 5 silver. Like, it takes a little bit of arguing, and there's like an awkward couple of minutes. I'm sure with Daphne where she's quite confused as they like refuse it. Because they don't. They say this. They don't want to take anything from the Guardian or Wing, right? But eventually they end up taking them. And they're quite thankful from you guys. What else do you guys get up to in Fire Share? After helping, for you guys have spent a couple days rebuilding. Now you're visiting you visited the tavern. Do you guys do anything else at this pig's ass, or?
Best name ever.
I had to come up with something on the fly there. That was just right out of my brain. Gotta love it.
Well done, sir.
It's the name of my favorite porter, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Well, should we start planning on where we're going next?
Yeah, we probably should.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like I remember. Was she with the eggs? Like they had to go over land, right? Because they couldn't be like flown wherever the heck they were being taken to, right?
Yeah, because it's cold up there. Like you get that, it'd be too cold, and so the eggs
right.
would freeze.
But also, if I remember correctly, it was quite a journey. It was a long ways.
Yeah, where were those? Where were those going to?
Luskin.
Luskin. Okay, that's right.
It's about 200 miles.
Oh, jeez.
Well, maybe we could get a wagon or something.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if I. Well, I mean, I would say we'd probably want to. All right, hold on. Let me pull up that map here. Which one's the name of the map? That's the whole area.
Sword Coast and the North are the two maps that you guys would search for. And Luskan is about a 10-day journey. Yeah, if you're taking your time.
All right, let's see here. Wait, no, that's the wrong map. This is Sword Coast. Oh, there it is. Okay. Well, would we want to? Because like, I don't know if I want to take like a whole huge cart from this town because they're probably gonna need it. But if we like got like a small cart and then like went to Hundlestone and upgraded for the longer bit, like I don't know, like I don't know. It just seems, considering the state this town is, like taking some large cart
No, that
and
makes
the stuff
sense.
to pull it, like they're probably gonna need it here
Well,
for hauling.
how
whatever.
far is Hundlestone from here?
Maybe 50? If Luskin is 200?
There's a key down at the bottom, but I'd say Hundlestone is like a 2.5-day journey.
Okay. Yeah, because if we like put like a small cart here to there, and then like trade it up to like a larger cart from there, because they're not going to be just after double giant bullshit. So probably going to be in a better state. Although I guess if they all fit in a small cart, we can just take a small cart the whole way. So,
Yeah.
I mean, how big are these eggs? Like, are they typical egg size?
They're
Pretty-
like think like ostrich egg size, a little bigger. So, and you need to transport 8 of them. You guys could fit them into your packs, but you also got to take into account you want to keep them warm, and whatnot too.
But if we put them in a small cart, we could use like one of the Yeti cloaks to keep them covered and warm.
Yeah, just kind of cover them and insulate them and
Cushion.
whatever. Yeah, cushion. You know. Yeah, I mean, I guess a small cart would work because it's just a couple eggs or 8 eggs. That should be able to fit in the back of that with some padding and whatnot.
Yeah, you guys could even like, if you guys wanted to get horses, they would fit in saddlebags fairly easily, and the journey would be shorter.
I guess that's true.
I'm cool with either way, whatever you guys want to do.
How much time would it knock off the journey to go by horse rather than with the cart?
The cart, I'd say you could probably do it in 7 days. Just horseback, you could do it. I'd say horseback, you could probably get there in 5.5, 6.
Okay. It'd be a little more mobile that way too, because we wouldn't be tied down to a cart. It might be good to do that. Yeah, I'd say let's probably go with the horse route and the saddlebags, just to keep the mobility option there.
Okay. So, shit, what's her name? Dashara helps you guys pack these saddlebags, and then they, Fireshare provides you guys with Well, you guys had horses when you came down here, didn't you? I was trying to think. I can't remember if you did or didn't.
I think we did, because we come down here, like, from Bryn Shander?
Yeah, we did. We had. Oh yeah, duh. We already had. Yeah.
Yeah,
There we go. We could use those.
so she again packs your saddlebags. Hey, thank you so much for that follow, Nerdforge. I apologize. It looks like my alerts aren't working, but I just saw the email. So if you're still watching, I appreciate your support so much, and I am sorry for being 15 minutes late at letting you know that. But I hope you're hanging out and having some fun. And she also, again, as you guys are finishing up, she's like, she kind of stretches a little bit as best she can, and she says, have you guys thought any more about my offer? Would you guys like some griffins of your own? You seemed quite adept at riding them.
Well, I mean, we're certainly considering it, but perhaps when we come back from this, we'll have thought it over some more.
How much were they again?
Well, being that you are the saviors of Fireshare, I could offer you guys, say, 1,000 gold pieces each. Or, well, I'll tell you what. I could give you guys some eggs. You'd have to pay a small sum, but I would be willing to perhaps provide eggs at a cheaper price. You would have to, of course, care for the young, and luckily griffins grow rather quickly. But in time, you would have griffins, fully rideable ones.
2 questions. How much care are these little griffins? And what's the price of the eggs?
So, she's taught you guys how to kind of care for griffins as a mount and as a creature in your guys's, because you took a week of like a boot camp training course for these, and it's not much different than than taking care of larger ones. I'd say for babies, like a silver per week of upkeep is what I would call it, right?
Okay.
Daphne's already started counting silver. Like, I don't know the price yet, but I'm counting. And she's very excited.
Yeah, I mean, I'd definitely say we're interested, but let's get these delivered first and see where things go from there.
We'll let you know our decision when we get back.
So, Ander is healed and probably following along with you. Shadow is left, and Hunter is as always, being that you guys are traveling, will kind of just be hanging out, following you. One thing that Hunter did ask me, or we spoke about, was that Hunter has spoken with the party a couple times about offering Dashara the potion that they have in exchange, or attempting to negotiate in exchange for griffins. Means that the potion is of no use to them. So that is something that is available to you guys if you guys want to. Hunter's not there, so I'm not going to sit here and negotiate as Hunter or do that, but just note that you guys have that as negotiation power if you like.
Yeah, I'd say we probably keep that in the back of our heads for when we get back.
Why? Why not get the eggs now? You were not coming
if we
back.
did go that route, then we'd
Why?
Depending on
Why?
it's worth to, or then we could probably just go full straight up griffins there. depending on how that works out. But either way, it's definitely probably going to help a lot, I would assume. So
Yeah, I mean, looking at the value of it, you honestly probably could with it because minimum value is 5K. Up to 50,000 K gold pieces.
Oh, geez, what kind of potion is that?
It's a potion of longevity.
Oh.
It rewinds time. Hunter picked up on her always complaining about wanting more time.
mm-hmm.
Oh, I think we definitely gotta consider that.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. I have no use for such a thing. She could train generations of Girth.
I think that on top of like doing this task for her, showing her, what we can do for her, and then offering that, I think that'll go a long way in negotiating.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Did say 1,000 each, and we would need 6.
Well, I mean, that's 1,000 each. Well, I mean, 1,000 each, and we need 6, and this potion's worth like 50,000 gold. That's not even a problem.
Oh, 50. I kept thinking 5. Okay. Yep. It's a. I will count it out. Have no fear. Oh, wait. No, it doesn't work like that.
So, you guys leave and begin to head to Luskan?
Yeah, I'd say so.
So you
On
guys
the road again.
you guys head along the Northern Means Trail. It's a fairly well-kept trail, means that it is the only one that connects the 10 towns and the good parts of the north there to the rest of the high road. So as you guys are traveling, you see a couple different patrols along there. Do you guys do anything, as you guys are going along the road? Are you guys doing anything each night? Or just kind of going through measures?
I'll be looking for plant life. Herbs.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a nature check. If you're foraging, I'll just give you, it'll be a pass-fail, 10 or above, and you succeed. And then, of course, if you do better, then you'll get maybe a couple.
Yep.
So I've given you a couple times the resource for the different herbs you find and their effects, correct?
Right.
Correct. So there's a cold section. I don't have it pulled up right now, and I was rearranging some stuff, so I have a drive unplugged. But there's a cold section. So you find 2 of the herbs in that cold section. One of them would be like uncommon.
Carry on. I'll let you know when I have it pulled up.
Anyone else doing anything as you guys are riding to Luskan, otherwise known as the City of Sails?
Well, it's mostly just kind of be keeping an eye out while everyone else does their things. Just keeping an eye out, keeping an eye on the eggs in the saddlebags. Making sure we don't have any surprise jumps happen to us or whatever.
Val was kind of just looking around, keeping an eye out on things, and quietly humming to herself.
So, one thing to note too is on your way there, before you left, Dashara warned you. She told you guys that while Luskan is named the City of Sails, it is a dirty place is what she called it, and she kind of had a sneer on her face. So as you guys approach this city, it's kind of getting a little warmer, and it's not so stuck in the frozen north, right? The first thing that you guys really note is as you guys are coming down, you see this thick black cloud of smoke, right? And it's rising from, guess where? The harbor. Of course. You guys see ships burning. Now, this is what the town of Luskan looks like, right? And as you guys are approaching, like, there's general commotion in the town, but you don't see any, like, combat. Just, like, ships, a couple ships burning. But the gates do seem to be open, and guards are letting, you see people coming in and out of the city, so guards do seem to be letting people pass.
Who is it that we taking these two here?
Did you guys not take your notes?
Plan?
Did you guys not look? Let me look at my notes here. Who she had as a contact in Luskan. One sec here. I was hoping you guys would have it noted. Because I remember I had it somewhere, and I've got like a shit ton of notes about Luskan. So she wanted you to deliver it to the what was that called? The Arcane Tower in the middle of the city. To the to Kashan the Red, Archmage of the Arcane.
Okay.
Sorry, did you say Kashan the red, like the color?
Yep.
Okay.
So you guys make your way, down to this tower like right away, pretty much?
I'd say so, yeah. Trying to get these there and in the hands of the client as quickly as we can.
So this town, right, as you guys are making your way through, you understand what Dashar meant. It is a dirty, divey, ramshackle town, and you guys realize that, like, while, like, there's, a good couple shops, there's a ton of taverns, and the ships in the port that aren't burning are kind of ramshackle, and then you notice the flag on one of them, and you realize this town, like, at best is a pirate haven. At worst it might just be, it seems like it's just, one match away from bursting. Like, there's a tenseness in the air, and it feels like it gets stronger as you get closer to this host tower of the Arcane. And you guys are looking at this, and it's a 5-towered deal kind of in the middle of the town, right? And it almost looks like a grisly black clawed hand, right? As when you approach it, you're stopped at the gates to this, but it's by a large, it looks like kind of just animated earth looking golem standing in between where these two pillars where a gate would be, but it doesn't exist here, and it just looks at you like it doesn't. It's big enough that it's kind of barring the way, but it also doesn't appear to have a mouth. Above the arch is this symbol, by the way, that looks like this. So what do you do?
Well, I guess if we're standing in front of this golem-looking dude, kind of speak, hail it and say that we bring a delivery for. Crap, what was his name?
Kashan the Red.
Sean the Red. That's right. Yeah, we bring a delivery from Fireshare for Sean the Red. Some items he'd requested.
So its eyes are glowing like a yellow color, right? And they go dim when you say this for several moments, and then they come back. This time they're green, and it steps to the side and points to the tallest of the 5 towers. And it's even more kind of grisly. You realize as you step into this gate, almost looking like the tendons on the back of your hand when you kind of tense it up, right? These pathways make their way to the base of each tower, and they raise up just a little bit above the ground, and in between each one is almost a completely different biome, right? One of them, the closest to these obsidian black walls, looks to be like a mushroom swamp type thing. In between, the next one looks to be this dark forest. Another one is a lush meadow. But you guys make your way to this tower, which has, just looks like one entrance where this path leads to it. There's tons of different smaller figure or additions, I guess you would call them, jutting out from this one. But the door opens as you all approach. Who's leading the group here in this instance?
Not Valra. She does not like it here. She's very uncertain of everything.
I'd say I'd probably be leading because I've been in these kinds of dirty situations before. So.
Yeah, this is new territory for Daphne. She's just as.
We have faith in you, Miss Song.
So as you guys step into this tower, as Daphne, the last one, crosses the threshold, you hear and you turn around to see a raven flying behind you, and it goes and it lands in a window in another tower, and steps in. But you all step in, and it seems empty, but there are stairs, leading upward, and you hear it almost seems like a whisper to each of you, right in your left ear. Yes, come up the stairs.
On up.
You guys make your way, and it takes a while. And as you're walking up the stairs, it takes a while before you realize that you've traveled definitely more than several flights of stairs, more than this large room that you stepped into. But there's been no doors, and after what seems like an eternity, but really was only, probably about 10 minutes, you're a good 2/3 of the way up, and finally, the stairs terminate at a door that is quite small. All three of you, all three of you have to hunch to walk through this door, and Daphne, you almost have to get down on your hands and knees, like it's short. Ander too has to hunch over as he steps in behind all of you, and inside, peering into a bowl of what looks to be quicksilver, is this probably 18-inch tall figure in red robes. Seems to be paying no attention to you guys. Everybody's silent. Nobody wants to say anything. What's going on?
18 inch? You said 18 is
Correct.
okay. I'm gonna find a corner to sit in, and I am not going to move because I don't want to fall on.
As we kind of step into view of this guy, I guess Miss Song would kind of raise one of his hands and kind of go, hello? And see if I can get his attention at all.
With a jump, this figure like kind of turns around almost in midair and lands and stumbles for a couple feet away from this bull on his own robes, and he looks up at you, and you see this tiny bearded gnome looks up at you and says, "Oh, hello there! I've been expecting you. Do you have my eggs?"
That's why we're here. And I assume we've brought like the saddlebags up with us, I would think.
Yeah, I figured you
Okay.
guys did.
Okay.
He's excited. He's like, oh boy!" And he like reaches for these bags. I figure you give them to him, right?
Yeah.
And he opens them up, and with the first one, like, he takes it out, and he just as soon as he takes it, like, he's a lot more calm and gentle, and he one by one moves these over to this table that he has set up, and it's a wooden table that's got like a divot for each of these eggs that you guys have brought. And once the last one's set in, he reaches in his pockets and he sets a gem into this hole that's on the front of it, and the table begins glowing, and he steps back and he turns around and he says, "Wow, it's not often Dashara gets eggs for sale. I'm so glad I snatched these up."
Well, I'm glad we were able to bring them to you safe.
Thank you so much. How was the journey? It's been a while since I've been north.
Well, the journey was fine, but Fireshare ran into a bit of trouble while we were there. Seems like that. So there were like ships burning here, right?
Yeah, there was definitely a recognizable frost giant great ship that had been burning. There was a couple other like long ships, but they were like people sized, like small folk sized long ships that were burning as well.
Okay. Yeah, Fireshare ran into a bit of trouble while we were there. Seems like you have some here as well.
Well, I'd say the 5 captains had trouble, not us. We didn't have any trouble. When they came to us, we solved it right away. They want us to stay out, but they always come to us for help. And he laughs and kind of rubs his belly a little bit.
By they, do you mean the giants or these captains?
Oh, the captains. You see,
Okay, of
a
course.
while ago they got mad that us wizards were interfering in the politics of Luskin. Well, what else do you expect wizards to do? We get bored. All this studying. So now we don't. We let them destroy a couple ships in the harbor, but then they came to us for help, so we lit the harbor on fire, and that solved the problem.
Well, that's one way to do it.
Yes it is. So how old did Dashar say these eggs were?
Did you say how old they were? Or
Yeah.
What was that?
Yep.
See if I remember right. You said they were supposed to hatch in just like a couple weeks, right, or something? Yeah.
Oh
think
boy. Oh boy, it's going to be an eventful couple months here. Oh man, I am so excited. I've wanted griffins since I was but a kid. Knee high to, well, a grasshopper, literally.
Well, if they're anything like the ones they had up in Fireshare, they'll serve you well.
Oh, these majestic creatures are not to serve me. I've created them a home. You want to see it?
Miss Song would be kind of prick up a little, be like, "Huh, that sounds kind of, yeah, we'll take a look. It sounds interesting."
Okay, cool. How about you guys? Any of you others want to see it?
Sure.
I would love to if I will fit.
Yeah, we'll all fit. And he taps on a brick with his staff, and a door appears, and he steps into this circular room with what looks to be mithril laid into the floor in a very distinctive pattern, and motions for all of you to step inside this circle of mithril.
Okay, we'll step on in.
Once you all get in, he taps his staff on the floor, and after just a brief flash of bright light, you guys blink your eyes and you're surrounded by this forest. One thing to note is the sky is black. There seems to be like ambient light enough that it's like daylight here somehow, but there's no stars or anything. And he kind of waves his wand around, and he says, "You see, I tend to collect creatures. These are just the newest additions to my collection." And you see like a couple, small pixies fly out, from a bush nearby over, and one like lands on his staff and blinks a couple times and flies off after he whispers something to it. And then you realize like this whole area is alive, right? There's a couple mushrooms you guys saw, but then you realize they're moving. They have legs of some sort, quite slowly moving, and all sorts of different insects and birds. Songs that you don't recognize seem to be in the woods.
This is fascinating. Where did you find all of these creatures?
Well, a lot of them I find in my explorations, but some I have to purchase from breeders and collectors. And some just need a place to stay, and I'll give that to them. I like to study them, you see. Volo is an inspiration to me.
Polo?
Volo! He's one of the most well-known studiers of critters of the arcane that anybody ever knew. My dad always looked up to him. He always tell me, "Why can't you be more like Volo? Why can't you be more adventurous, Kashan?" Well, I sure taught him. I'm an archmage now. And he's a frog.
Does he live here?
Yeah, you want to see him?
No, but that's okay.
No, I'll show you. Dad, come here. And you hear this deep ribbit, and this big frog comes jumping along, and comes up and like just like silently regards you guys. And it's a giant frog, so it's about Daphine's size tall, probably a good 8 feet wide, like big old frog. And he's white, like not white, but like more like he's Caucasian colored, like gnome skin colored, right? Yeah.
Wow. Pleasure to meet you, sir.
I'll try to pet the frog.
Like when you reach out for him, it opens its mouth and its tongue like lightning comes out and like sticks to your arm. Give me a strength saving throw. So it begins to like jerk you towards him, and Kashan like shouts and he goes, "Dad, mind your manners!" and smacks him with his staff. And you realize like when he smacks him with his staff, he hit him with some sort of magic because this frog's head is immediately covered in frost. One of its eyes is like completely iced over, and it lets go of you. And then it hops off like after this, and he turns and he says, I'm so sorry about that. He's always been kind of an asshole." And then he turns and he like begins casting this spell and then smacks his staff on the ground, and you get and like the frog like mid hop shrinks down and slowly turns into this rat and like turns towards you with a shriek, and you realize you can like see its brain because it's exposed. And Sean shouts, "That'll teach you! Mind your damn manners!" And it runs off.
Okay, well, at least your family is close.
Yes, well, best we be going back. And he taps his staff on the ground again, and with a flash of light, you guys are all back in this room in the tower. And he says, I believe Deshaun should have paid you, correct?
Deshaun?
Deshara, sorry.
Oh, Deshara.
Jesus. Kashan, Deshara, yeah.
Did she pay us before we left, or was that when we got back? Can't remember.
You guys did this without ever agreeing on payment, actually. It's pretty great.
Oh.
Yeah, that's kind of
Suck.
Oh.
what I
It was an insinuated discount on Griffins.
Yeah.
All right. I'll just kind of nod. See, yeah, she'll be finishing that up when we get back
Oh,
to Fire Sure.
all right then. Well, perhaps I should give you guys a tip for your trouble. Would you like a tip?
Sure, we'll take one.
Sure.
He says, okay. And he pulls out this bag and he opens it. And he says, well, why don't you reach in and grab something?
Let's kind of look around at the party real quick and do like a little bit of a shrug and put my hand in there and feel around.
So you pull out this oh, it hid the roll. Well, either way. So you pull out, you reach in and you grab, you feel a couple items, right? But eventually you settle on what feels like a handle of something. And you pull out. It takes a little. It's definitely longer than the bag, and you realize that you've got one of these too, right? This is a bag of holding that he's got a hold of, and you eventually pull out this short sword. It looks very shiny. Give me a second. I'll put it in your deal. I need to do a thing though. There you go. Cool. Yeah, it looks very mystical. And when you do, Kashan sees that and he says, oh boy, man, there's a story behind that one.
Misson kind of perks up at that and says, I'd love to hear that.
Man, I had to fight a Medusa for that one. all my brothers got turned to stone. But I got it from her.
I kind of turn it over in my hands here, and kind of asks, like what is it? Does it do anything special?
He shrugs and says, "Well, I know it's magic, so you're probably, gonna be able to attack better and do more damage, but I never really bothered to get attuned to that. You'd have to spend some time with it, I think, to see exactly how much help it can give you."
Well, thank you. I'll see what I can find out about it.
He nods and says, "Yes, yes. Thank you so much for your trouble. I don't suppose I can do anything else to lift your burden. Perhaps I could take the Furbolg off your hands. I can make a perfect grove for him."
Oh, a perfect what?
Grove.
Oh.
Wouldn't you just love to live out the rest of your days in the ideal grove for a Furbolg?
Well, I'm searching for someone first, but you could help me identify these plants. I will take out my own the bag of holding that I've kind of turned into my mobile herbalism lab kit and hand them to unidentified.
I assume you rolled those die and that picked some unidentified plants, right?
No, those I've been holding on to for a while.
Oh,
I rolled a die, but I didn't know how you wanted me to do it, so I just kind of made up
randomly.
Yeah.
He identifies these plants which were picked in the cold area and are two random plants from the cold area table.
Just tell me common, uncommon, or which one?
One is common, one is rare.
Thank you.
He's pretty excited about the rare one. He's like, "Oh, you don't see these very often. It only sprouts in an area corrupted by a lich or a demon." "Oh boy, I'm gonna be a lich someday. I hope I can make corruption like that." And he rubs his hands.
Can you undo corruption like that?
Well, I suppose if you purge the evil from the area, it can return after time.
How would you purge such evil?
Well, I suppose you'd have to remove the source. A lich or a demon.
Okay. Thank you.
Is there anything else you want to take up with this wizard, this archmage? He seems kind of friendly to you guys.
Yeah, I do. I'm gonna ask him if he knows, with these frost giants causing trouble up and down the coast. Do you know anything about what they're after or why? Fireshear, where we just came from, they've had 6 of these attacks this year so far. I don't know if you happen to know any history about them or what they might be doing in these parts.
Well, I know the ones that attacked us. They hail from Svartborg. It's a dark place in the sea of moving ice, The frost giant Jarl Starvold seems to run that crew. They operate as pirates and feel that gives them honor. Our guys seem to give them what for as best they can, though. Now, the ones here, they were looking for an Arctis climber. We've heard of him. I've talked to him a time or two, but never in Luskan. We tried to tell the 5 captains that, but they don't believe it. Even though we helped, they seem to think we had something to do with this.
Arctis climber is a particular person?
Yes, yes. It is said that he holds the Ring of Winter, you know. Boy, if I could get my hands on that.
Oh, why? What does it do? Or what,
Oh, you're gonna ask me that, aren't you?
Is it just power over winter, or what kind of attributes does that have?
He says, well, the Ring of Winter, it offers many protections and many desires that one might have. You see, one, it keeps you from being captured by divination magic. You cannot be spied on at all. Oh my, the studies that one could get done when you don't have to worry about a scry spell. And then he rubs his hands together and he says, it also prevents the need to become a lich, you know. It halts aging entirely. The one who can wear it is immortal. As long as he doesn't take lethal damage, that is. A sword through Climber's heart would be quite useful indeed. And then he kind of like realizes he said that out loud and jerks a little bit and he says, anyway, it's a powerful magic item. Yes, it does give powers of winter. I'm not quite sure all of the powers that it can do, but I've heard that it can, at the very least, bring an ice storm or change the weather in a local area.
Interesting.
Ender wants to know what he makes of his magic stones.
Ooh, yeah.
So he looks at what you've got, and he, after seeing like the stones that you've been working on, he says, where did you learn these runes, Ranger?"
From a very nice old lady up in the mountains near the Ten Towns.
Well, yes, this magic is simple but ancient. It's similar to what a young divination wizard might learn, perhaps a first-year student. But they do have some power. You see, this is ancient magic that the giants used and the barbarian clans adopted. One says that it can take over if you let it, and you can spend your time seeing nothing but bits of the future. I myself am not a fan of such magics because it can be known to drive one insane, but if you are careful, it can be quite useful, I think, in discerning things in the short future, near term, as they say. Did she teach you anything else, perhaps?
No, just these giant rune magic things. She also warned me that each use comes at a price.
All right. I can see that. A little bit more in touch with whatever guides these. You see, normally when we deal with magic, we manipulate the weave like this, and he snaps his fingers, and a simple flame appears over each of these stones, and then he snaps them again, and it changes to like little rain clouds raining on each of the stones, and then again, and it goes away, and then he says, "But these, when you use these, you're asking the spirits to help you. Eventually, you might call on one that is a little more power than you're able to control. You understand?" I wonder if that's showing that in deal. Trying to calculate an encounter.
I will keep this new knowledge in mind. Thank you.
He nods, and lets you collect the stones from his table. Anything else you guys get up to in Kashan the Red's Tower of the Arcane?
I don't think so. I'm just
Yeah.
with my plants.
Yeah, I'm good at the moment.
Okay.
Anders good.
So you guys leave this tower. Valra's still kind of uneasy, and make your way down the stairs. Now, about halfway down, you'd figure, from where you were at, the stairs continue past this, but there is another door that looks open. It's ajar. Do you guys keep going down the stairs? Or did you check out this open door? What do you do? What do you do? They're going to be silent.
How open is this door?
So, like when I say open door, what I like as you're like moving down, you look, and it's like an archway. Really, it's not a door. It's just there's no cover, and it leads. You glance, and it's a hallway that goes for a good ways, longer than you'd expect to the wall of the tower to be, and there's torches and sconces on either side, and at the end of the hallway there is a door that's ajar. The room looks in like past that, like there's like a dimly lit room, it looks like. How curious are you, Miss Song? How curious are you?
Valra looks at Miss Song and says, "Curiosity killed the cat. Let's go."
Oh,
I kind of chuckle and say fair.
oh! I was gonna dad joke him
Yeah,
there.
I'll keep heading down.
All right, so you guys head down to the base of this tower and out. And as you make your way out of this area, and the last one of you steps through the archway leading into the grounds. You hear the call of a raven, and you turn around, and there's a raven on the top of this archway. Right here's a great place for a break. We've been going for almost 2 hours now. So why don't we go ahead and everybody take 10? We'll come back at 11 and get right back to it. See what you guys get up to.
Cool.
All right, everybody stand by. Let me get a timer built. Got to set that to 10 minutes. I had it set to 5 earlier. Reset that clock. Start the timer. Okay, we will be right back, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said, 10-minute break. Let my guys stretch after a couple hours sitting here. Not everybody can run for 4 or 5 hours, so everybody's going to bio, and we will be right back with you. Thank you so much. All right, ladies and gents, let's get right back to it. All right, guys, everybody's back. I'm back. Let's get to getting. So you guys are standing right outside of the gates to this area. Host Tower of the Arcane.
I did have an idea, guys. It sure seemed like he has a lot that he wants to do yet with that collection and that grove thing. Maybe he would be interested in that longevity potion.
For what though?
Yeah, what do we
Enough
gain
to
from
buy. Enough to buy the grove or more.
Well, we'd have to go back and see, I guess.
I don't know if we really need him for that. I mean, I think she might be really open to that potion, and it's worth a lot. We may be able to just bargain with
Crap.
her directly for that.
I forgot to
Yeah, I
rehydrate.
think so too.
Forgot to
Sounds like he's
rehydrate.
already got his own one. So
Oh well.
And he
Okay.
gives me the heebie-jeebies.
Someone mind catching me up?
yeah, in Fireshare we hung out at like a hospital and kind of just helped around the town for a couple days with cleanup and stuff, and then decided to head out with the eggs on new saddlebags on our horses south down here to Luskin. And we got here without too much trouble and delivering them up to this dude. It was weird. But I got a sword that does something. I don't know what. We'll find out.
It seems magical. Like, it's definitely magical. It looks really cool. So, the hilt of it is what, because you grabbed it because it felt weird right on the end, and it's a bunch of snakes that are like intertwined to almost create a braided leather pattern. But it does look like it's snake skin, but then the pommel is various intricately carved snakes that are biting, and their eyes are tiny little gems of different colors.
Valor says to everybody, can we get out of this town? I don't like it. Ashara was right about it.
Yeah, I can see what you mean. I'm not sure what else there is. Business we have here, we might as well get our way on back up to Ashara.
Damn it. Oh. So you guys mount your horses and make your way out of town quickly? Do you spend the night here
Yep.
at all, even?
Oh, are there any like inns near the gate? Like how decent do they look, or are they all pretty?
I can.
Oh, this
protect us
town
on
is
the road.
seedy as fuck. Like, it's
Valor would rather camp in the woods.
All right.
like, so
That
Miss Song,
seems
I'm
more.
go ahead, sorry.
Well, I agree. I'm more comfortable out in the wilderness.
All right. Yeah, I guess we can spend the night outside.
Okay, so you guys leave town. I mean, this, Miss Song, you've stayed in quite a few different places, and like this, as you're leaving, you see quite a few people in like mismatched armor and whatnot boarding this giant long ship, looking to kind of see what's in it. There's frost giant corpses everywhere. I mean, this place it's muddy and just dirty all around. The 10 towns might be where like all the undesirables end up, but like this is where the kind of grosser ones usually end up staying. The ones that don't make it in the 10 towns. So you guys leave. Luckily, nobody manages to rob any of you, and you begin traveling on the trail back to Fireshare. That takes, on your horses a good 6 days. Do you guys do anything to pass the time over this travel? There's a couple nights you're able to stay in like small roadhouses, but most of the others are just a camp by the side of the road.
We can retcon this if you want to later, but I will spend some time with my herbalism kit and these herbs and try to come up with a working item or concoction.
One of the nights on the road, Anders gonna gather wild carrots and make roasted carrots for everyone.
Roll a deliciousness check. You find there's plentiful carrots.
What check is that?
You go ahead and pick. You tell me what a deliciousness check, which one of those is a deliciousness check, and you just roll that bitch. I'll let you do that. I just want to know how awesome this stew is.
Not a stew. It's literally just carrots on a stick.
Yeah, that's right.
Roasted
Sorry,
on
roasted. So they're carrots, and you guys find them pretty decent actually.
Mine's a little burnt, like marshmallows. You're better at that.
Each of you sees better in the dark because of this. For 24 hours, you have superior dark vision. You guys can see 120 feet.
That's the power of carrots.
That is the power of carrots, ladies and gentlemen. Right? It's good stuff. Good stuff. Well, so you guys make it then to Fireshare without any issue. The patrols on this road are pretty good this time of year, and the weather was decent. So we've now passed 12 days. What are we on? Let's adjust our calendar.
All right.
It is now let's look. 1, 2, 3. High harvest tide is passed, and it's the 3rd of Marpenoth. Just so you guys know the date. Everybody's pretty happy about high harvest tide. It passed while you guys were traveling. So what do you guys do when you're in Fireshare? You guys wanted to go here? Let's take a look.
I say we go back to Griffin Lady.
Yeah, I mean, go back to her first and learn about the delivery and they're all went well and all that stuff.
She's pretty excited to hear. But you know, after you guys report success, she looks at you and she says, "You didn't get any difficulty in town, did you?" Sean can be a little eccentric.
No, we weren't really in town long enough for anything to happen to us, but it seems like they had a giant attack just before we showed up.
Did you know he keeps his father as a frog?
She raises an eyebrow and says, "No, I don't know too much about him, but well, I suppose that's probably his personal business. I don't know that I would do that to my father, but not much I can do about a wizard of his caliber."
Yes, it was quite strange. Very strange.
Well, yes, I imagine so. Well, I'm glad my father isn't a frog. He's just, you know, buried in the ground, probably made up of worms and stuff by now. Well, why are you guys here? What's going on?
So, how many silver pieces for Griffins now?
Silver pieces? Oh my.
No, the other ones, the shinier ones.
How much did she tell you guys before? Was it 5,000?
Each.
1,000 each?
Yeah, 1,000 each.
1,000 each. She says, well, I'd say I could give you griffins for 500 gold each. I give you a deal if you want some eggs, though, I guess. Well, you knew the price. Don't stand there looking so shocked.
Out of character. We do have that potion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, like if there was anyone to give it to, I mean, I definitely prefer to give it to her over some weirdo.
I think we should offer it to her.
Maybe potion plus another job?
Well, if the potions were up to 50k, it should definitely cover it.
Yeah, the potion's real expensive, so.
Oh, okay.
Sure, why not?
So who does that?
Speaking of worms, I'll take the potion from Hunter. We thought that you might be willing to trade for this.
She eyes this thing. What the hell does one of those look like? That is a question, isn't it? She looks at it bubbling and kind of odd looking, and she says, "What is that? Is that a scorpion's tail in there?" Why the hell is that heart beating inside the... What are you trying to do?
Yes. No. Well, I mean, it only looks bad. I hear that it's supposed to, make you more longevity. Did I say that right?
More longevity? What?
For your Griffin dynasty. Generations of Griffins. All raised and trained and cared for by
What are you
Jafar.
talking about? For
I don't-
Give you more time.
time? What do you mean? Is it... Will it make me immortal?
Well, I'm not sure about immortal, but it'll at least give you quite a bit more time.
Really? You say, and I just have to drink this. But that heart is beating. Do I need to chew it up?
You know, that is a good question.
If I have to chew anything up, one of you has to chew some of it up too.
I don't know if the spell would completely work then.
I don't know about this. Alright. So what do you want for this? I gotta try this first before I give you anything. I don't trust this weird magic. Is that a spider? What the hell? Alright. Well, let's see how they convince her to drink this.
We're willing to give you this potion. It gives you more time. In exchange, you give us griffins.
Roll persuasion, Valra. Against her... like a wisdom willpower check. I've got a key for her character sheet. Let's say that'd be a wisdom check of sorts. What would contest persuasion? Insight.
I think it's charisma.
Yeah, persuasion is charisma, but I would say like insight, like understanding of yourself and whatnot would be like what you would use to combat. I don't see any like charisma-based skills that you would. Either way, she seems rather drawn in by that notion, and she says, "All right, I'll give you griffins and some tack. You give me your horses and this potion."
I think that's fair. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, griffins are going to kind of take the place of horses, and we can't really take the horses with us into the sky, so...
Okay.
It's a deal.
So she takes this potion and she looks at it, and you guys see this little heart in there beating away. And she pulls the stopper, and all of these ingredients inside immediately vanish, and it turns into this like green, bubbling liquid that's kind of glowy. And she downs it, and as she does, you guys see her. Some of the wrinkles around her eyes go away, and she loses, a significant amount of gray hair as she loses 8 years of aging. And so she puts this down and looks at her hands first, and then she turns, and there's like at the front of this building, there's some glass, and she kind of looks at it and touches her face a little bit, and she turns back to you and she says, I've gained at least a decade. Oh, my thanks to you so much. And she like leaps forward and tries to hug Daphne, but can't quite like get her arms around the Furbolg. So she turns and grabs Valra and like squeezes you, Valra, so tight your back pops. And she drops you down, and she's like, oh, I feel young again, and kind of like jumps a little bit and has like a huge smile on her face. So true to her word, she quickly settles down and gets back to business and leads you guys to the stables and lets each of you pick out a griffin.
Can we pick the same griffins we trained on, since we kind of already have a bond with them?
That would make complete sense.
Yeah. Makes sense. Yeah.
Each of you guys do me a favor and just take a small note of like what color your griffins are in your appearance section on your character sheet. These are magic creatures, so I'd assume they could be any color that we want them to be. You write that part of your story. I'm just kind of curious for each of you. There's griffins of almost every color of the rainbow in this stable. It's insane. Need to charge my phone. Well, after that, what do you guys get up to? You've got these flying critters now, huh?
Yeah.
Now, did we secure a griffin for the other party members?
Yep, the transaction was for 6 griffins. You have tack and a week's worth of supply for them. It's a silver per week.
Cool.
I'll make an item like called like Griffin feed or something, and we'll track it somehow. Something to spend their money on, right? Oh, what are your guys' griffins named? Deshara's is named Screecher.
Mine is named Skyfang.
Valra's griffin is named Willow.
Willow. I like it. Good times. Good times.
Anders' griffin is named Fasha.
Fasha. I like that too. I can get behind that. So how is everybody doing tonight? All you guys hanging out, watching? I hope you guys are having a good time. Not really any combat, more kind of just RP running some errands tonight so far. Maybe they'll get themselves into trouble yet. We still have some time. But I hope you guys are having fun at least. I know I am. Man, I love running games. It's just such a blast. Such a blast. I enjoyed telling tall tales, I guess, probably. That's probably why I'm half decent at it. I like to think anyway.
We're gonna go with Atius.
Aetius. If I had a griffin, if Fribble had a griffin, he'd name him Drumstick, I think. Because that's what I'd name a griffin. What do you guys think? Drumstick is a pretty good name for a griffin, I think. Anyway. Who knows? Who knows? Well, I mean, I guess I do. Whatever. Whatever. Oh, boy. Man, it has been a good night so far, I
See,
think.
that was awesome. We thought we were gonna have to go get a crap ton of money to get those things.
Yeah, that works. That works. Pretty good thing you guys sunk the Remoraz down into the lake so Hunter could fetch that from the bottom of the lake.
Ah, good times. That was an epic time.
Well, many more will be had, depending upon what direction you go. I'll give you guys a hint. You might find giants. There's also a potential of giants. And then sometimes there's other stuff like just Goliaths. I'm just kidding. There's more than that. More than that. All sorts of things happening in this world. Question is, what do you guys get up to in the town of Fireshare? Seems like rebuilding over the past 2 weeks has been going on quite well. That people are quite busy down at the docks. Those are kind of partially rebuilt. Ships are coming in and out each day.
I'll go check on my car.
They seem to be growing quite well. Mostly they're growing potatoes and carrots. Fields of carrots, Ander. And they're growing very well.
Ooh, ooh.
Good. They will eat well this spring.
Ander, you find a carrot that's like 2 feet long. And it's big. It's like as thick as your thigh around at the top.
Ooh, Ender's really delighted, but he's going to leave it for the town.
Mm. I'll give you an inspiration for that. I didn't expect Ander to put the town, a bastion of civilization there first. Cool. I added that to your sheet. So take note of the little stars next to your guys' names when you want to do rolls in business. But yeah, Fireshare seems to have recovered. I mean, losing life is somewhat of a part of life up here. This many in one season is kind of shocking and will, impact Fireshare, but business as usual must be done, as they say, as the Three Lords say. So people are back to work. The mines are running. The smelteries are smelting. I think everybody's kind of checked out for the evening. I'm trying here. But I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what they're doing.
Well, what else do we have to do in the world?
Well, I know we still had something or other in Waterdeep. Oh, the notes here. Oh, okay. I knew. Oh, okay. I knew we'd heard that before. The one of the Waterdeep quests from Sirach of Suzail up in Brinchander was telling us that he was the son of Artist Climber, and that he believes his father has that ring that Gnome Dude was telling us about, and that his father had connections to this family in Waterdeep to go talk to someone there. So that would be something along that particular line of stuff. That was the only.
You also had, it looks like the notes are missing. I was looking through. If you guys are looking through the Brinchender quest notes, I think.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you guys went to Hundlestone, because you have Sir Beric Nylef's quest, he was looking for the Weevil, and then you had a couple bounty hunters looking for that one, and the little toy maker in Hundlestone gave you a tip on him.
That's right, yeah.
Pointed to a crow in Valharrow who lived in Everlund in the Moongleam Tower.
Well, either way, we can fly in on griffins looking like badasses.
Well, I mean, given that this artist guy seems to be related to all this giant stuff, I mean, for the sake of all these towns on the coast, I feel like we should probably try to go find out more about that to see if we can keep these towns from getting clobbered. Because these giants just keep coming after him, supposedly looking for this guy, this ring. That'd be down in Waterdeep.
Okay. So you guys want to get on your griffins and attempt to fly down to Waterdeep?
How... Do we need to buy extra supplies for the
hell yeah.
griffins to get to Waterdeep?
You're gonna need to plan this one out. Like, that's a months-long journey, even with griffins.
Oh, jeez.
Well, months long with griffins would be like a year without them.
It'd be a good 6 months without them. Like, it took you 6 months to go from where you guys started, which was just southeast of Waterdeep. You got on the Cloud Giant's castle, and there were 6 months that passed that you traveled north on his castle at flying speed. And granted, it flew slowly, but you know, it's a trip. How do you guys prepare for this?
Is that far down the Waterdeep?
It's
Well,
not going
it's
to take
way
you
down
6 months
there.
to fly, but yeah, Waterdeep is pretty much the southern, you know, it's the southernmost bastion of you know, civilization. The Lord's Alliance, you know, power, reached down to Nightstone, not much farther southward, before, there's villages, but they're not really that well protected and subject to local warlords generally.
Can we get a world map up?
It's the Sword Coast one if you have it saved.
Everybody should have it saved. You can click on if you guys ever want a map that I've shared with you or an image that I've shared with you, you can click on the maps button, and then it'll kind of just show the ones that I've shared with you. I try and edit them so that you guys don't have a ton of them because it does preload them. So you'll see the list change sometimes, but the Sword Coast and the North are the two maps that you guys have that kind of show the world to you that you got from the Council in Bryn Shander. The map, the North, aligns with the Sword Coast map along the top. If you just align the two tops of the maps, they'll match.
You can like put them down on the little numbered thing on the bottom, and it makes it a lot easier to get them up.
Good call. Good call.
That's what I do.
Inspiration on that tip and use of the hotbar. Good job.
Oh, that's what that is.
Yeah, I have like my character sheet, the player's handbook, and then a shit ton of maps.
There's at least 3 hotbars you can control and alt that hotbar, by the way, guys. Hey, Venerek, how you doing
So
tonight?
we are in
Sorry that took me a minute to see. Hope you're doing well.
Fireshare?
Correct.
Okay, so I'm looking at this world map here, and I'm trying to see how this takes that long to get to Waterdeep. Because if the scale on the map is to be believed, it looks like from just kind of going up the road right along the coast from Waterdeep up to where we are right now, it looks to be about 800 miles, if I'm reading that right. Which that wouldn't take.
It'd take about a month with your griffins
Like,
to
yeah.
make
I
it to
mean,
Waterdeep.
like on, like on foot, like traveling on foot, even, like that would take, even at a slow speed, like 2 months. Like it wouldn't be like 6. I don't know how that tower took us that long.
It had it it had it listed. Let me go see if maybe my memory's off here.
What map is Fireshare on?
Sword Coast.
It's on the Sword Coast. It's just farther up to the top.
Let's look.
But yeah, like right at the bottom as the scale for what's 200 miles, and it's 200 miles from like Waterdeep to right around the Mirror of Dead Men, and then from the Mirror of Dead Men, it's another 200 miles about to Neverwinter, and then it's about 200 miles to Luskin, and then about another 200-ish to Fireshare or so.
So it listed it somewhere here, like travel time from like Nightstone to elsewhere.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find that. I'm not quite sure where it is. Yeah, I know where it is in the book. I just don't have that handy.
Well, yeah, because I mean, like, and I know, like, just with walking speed, generally we've been doing like 20-ish something, like just on our feet.
Yeah, about 20 miles a day.
Yeah, so 800.
I don't really want to argue the distance between.
That's 40. It'd take us 40 days walking.
Nice.
To go from
Oh, insta die. How'd that happen,
pace of
Ven?
20 miles per day.
Tell me more. Tell me
So Griffin's
more.
less than that. Yeah, I don't know. If that said it was 6 months on that tower, man, that tower was fucking slow. Wow.
20. Okay, so no, I was thinking completely wrong. Must have been the like walkie time or something like that. It's 26 days to Bryn Shander from Nightstone. 624 hours.
Okay. I was gonna say, I was like, the world's not that huge.
Oh, well, that's entirely deserved, then, in my opinion. Sorry, that's a player lesson that's got to be learned. Yeah. It wasn't massive. And the cloud giants, you know, they can control the speed of their tower. I don't know. Where did I get? It must have been the walking speed or something. Because I had 6 months written down in my notes for travel time for some reason, for something. Anyway, it would take you guys about 28 days to fly on these griffins.
Okay. Well, I mean, if we're going down the Sword Coast, like there's, pretty regular.
I'd figure
towns
Strahd would punish him though
along
for
the
his
way.
weakness.
Because like we don't
Bring
have
him
to
back
have
with
the entire
some permanent
months-long supply strapped to us
forked
right here in
tongue.
Farshire.
No, we could stop along the way.
Yeah,
and
'cause I mean, you got,
refresh.
Luskin and Everwinter and Thornhold. Like we got towns all the way down the coast.
Oh, plus numerous towns that aren't big enough to be put on the map as well.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's good. That's good.
Yeah. It's
good that he learned his lesson.
Stop and resupply and get another leg for us. We don't have to carry it all at once.
Well, Death House is supposed to be lethal. I mean, it's a nasty little area. I'd make sure to let him know wouldn't happen
So
again.
like fire shear to Luskin, Luskin to
Yeah, something like that. I mean, given the distance between the larger towns, like it's pretty even.
Yeah, I've done that for players, like new to Starfinder.
most
I had one
part.
die.
Like the
and
part between Neverwinter
I gave him
and Waterdeep,
kind of a free res
there's
like
some
that.
smaller towns, it looks like, in between that we deal with there for that bit. But yeah, Luskin to Neverwinter, Neverwinter to something around the Mirror of Dead Men, and then one of those to Waterdeep. That would pretty much be the 4 chunks of the 28 days or so it would take.
You guys can go see what's in the Mirror of Dead Men. What do you think? It's on the way. Huh?
Get
I
some,
would,
I
I
could
would
get
guess
some,
dead
I could get some
men.
plate armor on this character too.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe.
Find another helmed horror in there.
Oh god, he isn't proficient in heavy armor, is he? Jesus. No, light. Okay,
Miss,
thank
Miss
God.
Song, hell no.
Thank
Miss
God.
Song definitely cannot wear plate armor. He could try, but he wouldn't go anywhere fast.
Hey, I'll be right back, guys. I got a situation here.
Oh, alright.
Hey, what's going on? Do you need to go to the bathroom, buddy? Okay.
we could throw quick for a loop and go to Phandalin.
It's on the way. We could.
Just not tell them. Just be like, yeah, we'll go down to Neverwinter, and we'll go to Leon, and then, oh, we're on our way. We're gonna make the detour. Go to Phandalin, because we want to, and just not tell them.
I'm gonna find Wave Echo Cave real quick.
I'm gonna grab Neverbeer real quick.
Okay, sorry about that, guys. Kiddo woke up, kind of scared me there. Did not expect a child next to me at midnight to appear, which is always terrifying because little children are terrifying. Yeah.
He's pretty quiet too.
Oh, dude, yeah, he was like right next to me before I realized he was there. He's all out of it, like half awake, So I was just like, "Whoa, boy!" Good times, good times.
It's amazing how quiet he is when he's like still pretty much asleep. You'd think he'd be like thundering around. But no, he's just quiet as a mouse.
No, this is an innate skill children have. That's what makes them superior assassins and possession targets.
Well, if I ever need one, I'll just borrow yours.
That's why children are terrifying.
See, that's why I don't want one. I don't want some little ninja scaring me at midnight.
This is why I just stick with Cass. They just stare at the walls and make you wonder what's haunting you.
Because there is shit haunting you, right? Child dwarf ninja, right?
Probably.
Yes, exactly. Billy Bob, exactly. Could you imagine child dwarf ninjas? Maybe I'll put a whole clan. I don't really want to put them in D&D like to fight the players, though. Maybe I'll have like rumors of them or something. That'd be kind of neat. A group of like Thieves
Desmond,
Guild
grab a beer.
children.
We'll be back.
Okay.
Oh, I'm back.
Oh, he's back. Never mind. We're here.
It'd be interesting times. Be interesting times, I think. All right, so you guys like leave, the following morning and make your way down to Waterdeep. Then begin heading there.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Are we gonna like do the town hopping thing, or just try to go straight there?
Well, we can't go straight there.
So
I mean, we're gonna pass the towns no matter what, and that's just gonna make it easier that we don't have to carry a
Yeah.
month's worth of
And
supplies.
easier on the Griffins.
so Luskin first.
Yeah, I'd say Fire here to Luskin is first leg. Luskin and Neverwinter to, Leylon, Karnath, something, and then from there to Waterdeep.
Okay. Why don't you do this for me, Miss Saw? Why don't you put the route that you guys are taking into chat for me, so we have a record
Okay.
of it. You guys make it to Luskin without incident, and you'll need another week's supplies for your critters.
Okay. Let's see. Measures here. If we do that, put us. Okay, that actually.
So you said that was 1 silver for a week supply.
Yeah. 1 silver each.
Okay. There we go.
Okay. Perfect. So your second week, you make it. You're making it along on the probably the 4th, 5th day. You're traveling, and why the Fire Shear is where it is, because it's the cliffs that lead down to the shore, and it's one of the few spots where there's an actual beach. Luskin is the same way. There's cliffs pretty much along most of the shore, bordering the Sea of Swords. There's an area as you guys are traveling where the cliffs descend slowly down to sand, and it's all covered in fog, and then sand on the other side of the fog, and it kind of picks up. And as you guys proceed farther south on the end of the following week, you bring your griffins into Neverwinter. So Neverwinter's a pretty big city. How exactly do you guys enter the city with as a group?
That's a good question. Do they? I don't know.
I guess the question is, like, do the griffins, like, freak people out, or are people like, oh, okay, whatever, like, it's totally a normal
that's a
thing?
good point, yeah. How familiar are
Well, that's what I'm asking. So, like, how do you guys enter the city? That would probably determine it, right? You guys just swoop down and into the middle of the city and land in the town square? Do you land outside the city and approach it on foot? Do you land on a boat in the harbor? Do you storm Helm's Hold instead and see what's going on there?
I'd say we'd likely like touch down pretty near outside of town, like maybe like kind of just a little ways outside the gate. Walk up to it just to kind of, not come off as some kind of threat. Like we don't want to swoop down the middle of town out of nowhere and be like, ha.
Okay.
So yeah, I'd say maybe like half a mile away from the gate, like not very far, and then head up to the gate with the griffins.
So, as you guys are like kind of flying into town, one thing you note is something that each of you may have heard whispers of, or maybe not, but you can't miss it, and that's this huge chasm that looks like it's in the middle of the city, right? And there's buildings that run right up to the edge of this chasm, but they look like they've been kind of hastily sealed up. And the entirety of the top of this chasm is covered in some sort of glowing light, and you guys land then on a hill, a short way outside of town. Now, Neverwinter is it's not always had the best of luck. Currently, right now, you guys saw throughout the city there's scaffolding everywhere, construction going on. There's that doesn't change on the outside too. Several huge sections of the walls lay in ruins, and several more have scaffolding around them, and they're working on building them. Thanks, Ven, for that tip. I think they'll probably manage to get there at the beginning of next session. So I'll make sure that they kind of see some griffins and have a roost up there and whatnot. You do see like a gate, kind of like an area where there's like rubble leading down to probably what was once a gate. It's got guards standing around on the mounds of rubble, and there's a kind of a makeshift pike wall that they seem to be moving to the side as people approach. So when you guys approach this, you're challenged by these guards, and they say, "Who are you, and what is your business in Neverwinter? Why do you bring beasts like that here?"
Well, we're passing through on our way to Waterdeep, and these are our steeds of choice to make the long journey. We mean you no harm. We just mean to stay and stay a night and restock and be on our way.
Huh. Well, I don't know where you think you're gonna keep them, but it's not in here. You can try one of the stables. And he points, there's a stable a little ways outside the gate that's got like a couple horses and stuff running around. Good night, Ven. Thank you so much for coming in and checking things out, buddy. I appreciate you hanging out
Be like, do we
in your company. It was great.
want to bother the horses with these? Like, I mean, we can always just stay outside of town with them, I guess.
Yeah, a couple of us could go in town and get supplies.
Yeah, because like I don't know how the horses are gonna react to griffins, and I don't suppose it'd be too looked kindly upon. I don't want to cause too much trouble.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
Is there any place you know, maybe like just outside of town, like along the wall or something that we could just kind of pull up against or kind of set up a small camp?
Oh
or
yeah, there's
something?
there's definitely a place that you find. What does it look like?
Okay. I'd say it's probably just somewhere that maybe has just a couple sparse trees, like that are just still around in the, you know, kind of plains here outside of the walls. Yeah, just so there's like a little bit of cover of some kind. But you know, nothing too fancy. Just somewhere where we can all kind of be close together with us and the griffins and such.
Okay. So it's a pretty cozy camp. You guys get set up. Do you all, when you guys go to get supplies, do you all venture to town, leave the griffins there? Do some of you stay? How does that work?
Valra volunteers to stay with the griffins.
Yeah, Ender's gonna stay with his griffin.
Okay. Yeah, I'll go into town with Daphne if she wants.
Yeah, I'll give Moog a silver piece to get supplies for my griffin.
Valra does too.
Okay. So you guys head into town. And find the market fairly easily. You know, people direct you to Market Street and you head there and get your business. And you have another week's worth of supplies. Do you do anything in Neverwinter besides this business, or or do you just head right south?
Magic's
Would I know what that chasm thing is in town?
Oh, give me an Arcana check if you're thinking on it.
Yeah, because I'm just like I'm curious.
You could also ask around if you're curious too. You tell me how you find out.
I might end up asking anyways, but just,
Okay.
like, if I know any sort of. General
So it looked like some sort of magical barrier, but you couldn't tell what caused the chasm, or it definitely doesn't look natural. But that barrier looked like it was magic.
Okay. It would kind of, maybe as we're finishing up shopping here, just ask whatever the heck shopkeeper we happen to be talking to. As we were coming into town here, I saw that huge gash on the south side of town. What's that from? I'm not from around here. I'm not familiar with what happened.
He kind of scratches his chin and he says, "The chasm? Well, that was caused when the mountain erupted." And he points, and outside of town is kind of a low, it's there, it's visible, it's not a huge mountain in any fashion, but it is there. And he said, now, when that erupted, it really just spit ash into the sky, but there was a massive earthquake. It destroyed massive swaths in town and out of town. I'm sure you saw the walls. And it opened up this chasm. It took quite a fight to push back the denizens of the Underdark that came up from below, but now we have safety. Believe in the barrier, right? And he laughs a little nervously and tugs at his collar.
And kind of nod and kind of flip him an extra silver piece for the info. I was just curious what the story was.
He catches it and he thanks you. All right, guys. I think here in Neverwinter's a great stop. Good town. Some of my favorite memories were in Neverwinter. More in Baldur's Gate. But guys, why don't we stop the session here and pick back up in a couple weeks? Thank you, everybody, for coming. I'm going to go ahead and raid a good friend of mine, Digital Dungeons. And he's running some Curse of Strahd, so let's check him out. Show him some Heroes Wanted love, guys. Right, there we go.